our youth need to be talked to. They need to understand that you don't have to start from the top.
You will see old people that is up to 60 years that are still occupying office.
About 60 million of our youths are unemployed. And you find out when you travel, all these people who are into some of them Boko Haram, things that are causing insecurity in this country. They are unemployed.
The fault is in us, including all of us sitting here. You know, because from what I'm hearing, there's no concept of budgeting for the for people. It's just oil money coming in and you distribute it.
Mm-hmm. Can we look at the can we look at the gender, the proportion of women and men that are unemployed? Hello there. The program you're watching is Patito's Gang, and in today's episode, we are discussing the unemployment time bomb, which is waiting to happen if nothing is done about it. Today at the gang, we'll take a look at what should be done, the statistics. A recent statistics showed that adult unemployment is about 24%. Youth unemployment is about 55%. And it's only in this country, as it's often been said, that a government, somebody will win an election, and when you have high unemployment rate. We talk to Nigerians on the street, and then the gang also, we discuss some of these things and find solution, way out of this matter and how to generate jobs for our people. Don't go away. You're still watching Patito's Gang.
We talk about job creation, but how many jobs have been created? The youth are the graduates are turned out every day from the universities or higher institutions or the ivory tower, but unfortunately there is no job. They talk about self-employment. How does somebody get self-employed? Because they don't even have the capitals. Where are the banks? Where are the microfinance bank? What are they doing out there? That's why people can be giving loans, granted loans at least, and our university sector actually have to be really, improved. We have just a situation whereby people just go to the university, they feel you just go there, come out and get a job. I think there should be, like it's been done in the Western world, I think there should be this entrepreneurship. Somebody should be able, when you come out of the institution, even when you don't have a job, you should be able to package something on your own.
You will see old people that is up to 60 years that are still occupying office. Why the youth that have finished school will have nothing to do? Another case is that if they are getting out of the office, either they put their own relation or their own child.
My advice will go to the youth. Our youth should be contented. So our youth need to be talked to. They need to understand that you don't have to start from the top. Understand? If you are a graduate and you are looking for the post of a manager and somebody offered you a driving job to start with, pick it up. While you are within the organization, your skill will come out. Then if there's any opening, they could help you out. Behave well. Understand? So our youth, the fact that we have unemployment, we see our people securing jobs. People should we should try and be flexible.
Hello there, you're welcome. This is Patito's Gang, and in this edition of the program, we're looking at the high rate of unemployment in Nigeria. I don't know any household that doesn't have one or two or three unemployed youth, whether the father or the parent, the father or the mother, or even himself could be unemployed. And it has become a big issue. And we don't want a situation where it will get to what is happening in South Africa, where the youth are also high rate of unemployment among the youth. And the gang will look at this and see how it goes and the implication of having high unemployment rate in Nigeria. Yes, gang members, the high rate of unemployment.
But I don't know about South Africa being something we should have been afraid of getting into. I think our situation is much worse than South Africa.
Exactly.
For one thing, in South Africa, if you had entrepreneurial energies, you will be sure that there's energy to use to work whatever it is you go. There's power there. Here, if you were to be a talented mechanic or vulcanizer and can earn a couple of hundred naira a day because of the power situation, which in fairness seems to be improving, but it's still way away from
where it should be.
The guy out there on the streets, therefore, cannot create income, generate income for himself, because he has that limitation of a power situation. Then we have a much worse situation that we have no clear policy idea about how to drive employment creation. The general thrust of policy and what we see implemented suggests that, we're just basically on our own, and every country that's challenged unemployment does a number of things to say, okay, how does either public spending power us out of this kind of state of unemployment, this traditional Keynesian view of this? If you are the ultimate anti-Keynesian, so what are the supply side incentives that will drive opportunities?
Yeah.
Everywhere that industry turns to, you find blockage created by inappropriate environment. We have really a state of deindustrialization in Nigeria. So how are we going to create jobs if agriculture is the way it is, manufacturing is the way it is? In fairness, again, we have an agriculture minister who has some very interesting ideas, but there's still plenty of work to go from.
Can I say, I think part of the problem is my pet issue with government is what they feel their obligation is to society, and therefore their connection with society. You're talking about the agriculture minister, etc., but you look at the concept of government budgeting, and what you hear there is they expect to earn X amount, they expect to spend X amount. Customs is a revenue generating body, right? You look at other countries, when they budget, they spell out the objective of budget in human terms, the impact on the people of society. Therefore, in America, he says he wants to create X number of jobs. That is the budget. Then everything in the budget is focused at that, which means it then looks to government spends money in environments that create job opportunities so employers can recruit, and it builds up. That, I think, is where the fundamental problem here is.
It's even worse, I think, from the perspective you're coming from. Yeah. Because it seems to me like you still take the budget process seriously in Nigeria.
No, but that's what I'm driving at.
I stopped doing that.
That's what I'm driving at.
More than a decade ago.
It's ridiculous. So you cannot, you see, if you don't focus on achieving something, you can't achieve anything. And that is where we are today. Yeah. Government mouth-based policies about, they're going to do this about unemployment, but you don't see definite strategies that take you there.
No, but I will go back to the basic. The fault is in us, including all of us sitting here. Because from what I'm hearing, there's no concept of budgeting for the for people. It's just oil money coming in, and you distribute it. And before we came in here, you gave us an example of how the money is being spent, because this is money that is not worked for. Really, we are not even landlord. We rent out this thing, they pay us money, and we distribute the money among fewer than 1% of the society.
But the income distribution, the Gini coefficient is a nightmare.
Why I say the fault is in us is that we are going to go into the shenanigan of voting for people. How come? We have brilliant ideas. The quantum of ideas, even in this Patito group that we've been coming and talking, you never get near the situation where you will be in charge of doing something for the country. And I was making a joke. I said, I'm not employed. You beg for employment, not even for money, to put your ideas on the table and let them consider the idea free of charge. They don't want it.
I mean, it's clear. I mean, something that you've just pulled right up there is the issue of meritocracy that we lack. in
Or lack of-
Nigeria,
lack
lack
of
of
it.
meritocracy in Nigeria. It transcends all institutions, both public, private,
Everywhere.
wherever. So you can't actually talk about creating jobs or just putting together some policy in abstract when it doesn't, like I said, doesn't really affect the
I mean, of
people
course, here,
directly.
remember Olufemi Taiwo. Taiwo was one of those activist types back in the early 80s. Then he went off to do his PhD in Canada and he's been teaching in the US. He's just written a book titled Africa Must Be Modern, in which he moves away from his traditional left position. He was known Marxist type, and he's so angry because he got to Canada, you know, all the things they were reading and talking about, the capitalism, the problem. He got to Canada and he was looking for the slums, and he didn't find the slums, and he found out, wait a minute, capitalism has worked for these people. Everybody has a decent life here, and so he says the problem is that Africa is not modern, and there's a conspiracy against modernity in Africa. And one of the key issues is the point that Bekeme has just made about merit. We have, and for me, I've narrowed it down to a discussion of generations. Nigeria has been in the firm grip of a generation that believes in arbitrariness. And that has polluted culture.
It has.
There's no doubt about it that unemployment and insecurity, they are just like conjoined twins. I've traveled through about 60 million of our youths are unemployed. And you find out when you travel, all these people who are into some of them Boko Haram, things that are causing insecurity in this country, they are unemployed. Again, parents who cannot even earn a living, if they give their wards maybe 50,000, what can they do? Like Prof said, well, power has improved, but we know that taking some of these things to the markets, what of our workers? They are take-home pay, cannot take them home. So even when people when we organize a program, we're talking about people who are self-employed. A lot of them, their businesses have been run aground. Not that they deliberately wanted it to be such, but because of the fact that the little money they had have gone with the drain. So there is a need for us, you know. There must be change of mindset.
Yes, there needs to be conscious change of mindset.
Responsive.
Yes.
There must be that change of culture.
Yes.
And we have to put on our thinking cap, and we have to realize that any country.
I still maintain what I'm saying. You know, I'm not ready to sit around for any government to do anything. They're not going to do it. What I'm saying is that the fault is in us. You know, when we see somebody.
Let's hold it there. When we come back, because we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at, finish your thoughts.
I will finish.
Yeah, you'll finish it. And also, we'll take a look at the point that Dr. Joe Dumaki also made about, self-employment and all that, and how it contributes to the economy and all that. So let's take a break, and we'll come back. You're still watching Patito's Gang. Don't go away.
Patito's Gang, Nigeria's favorite television talk show, is back on local terrestrial TV. The 30-minute potpourri goes to the heart of the matter with its focus on the common good, making government accountable to the people and deepening democracy. Your ultimate electronic village square talk show makes a big comeback with Eugene Ohu and Austin Nweze as co-pilots. Patito's Gang features credible voices from all sides of the political divide in a no-holds-barred discussion. Watch out for Patito's Gang, airing on STV Monday night, midnight. Patito's Gang, more vibrant, more incisive, and more analytical than ever.
Welcome back. You're still watching Patito's Gang, and you're
before I was stopped.
Not rudely though.
Yeah. You know, we all have a role to play.
Yeah.
It's not enough to sit around here and talk about government should do this or not do that. You know, everywhere in the world, government is not perfect.
Yes.
But it's the voice of the people and the reaction of the people. They will wait for you. When it's election time, they will decide.
That is if our votes count.
Yes.
Our votes have never counted. We've been voting, we've been having people in power. My votes have never counted. And so people can take us for granted. They can wait for their godfathers and the rest. Making a change and electing people who will
perhaps what we need to do is how to make our vote
Yeah, but apart from our vote counted, even if your vote counted, there's so many people who do not know why they should vote for anybody. There's so many uneducated people who do not have the requisite.
I've often said that.
They could vote because, let me say, everywhere because of anything. So there needs to be an enlightenment nationwide. No.
I disagree with that. That is going to take forever.
It is.
No, I have often said that it's only in this country that unemployment issue is not an election issue.
Sure.
It's only in this country. That all the campaigns, all those things, they never address. But in the whole world, Obama might lose this election if unemployment rate keeps rising. But again, you find that in this country, nothing. And you talked about self-employment. There has been this argument, a recent research that carried out that necessity entrepreneurship, doesn't really contribute much to the economy.
Let's be fair here. There is such a disconnect between governing and society. The people in government, who are many of these people? What have they ever done in their life to help other people? Why are they in politics? If we understand that, we will know why Nigeria is a mess. Let's take a very simple issue. We've talked about the pollution of the Niger Delta, the people who are talking self-determination, the UN study, the situation. We look at it as a problem, a crisis, but that's a great opportunity. You can put 1 million youth to work cleaning up the Delta. And they are earning income that makes them responsible citizens, that they can invest in buying detergents, and those manufactured detergents are creating more jobs. Why don't these people sit down and think?
Yeah, but we've been talking about these things, and then you say that it's up to us, but then obviously we do not have the sort of financial resources that we require to make these things happen. Most Nigerians know the solution to our problems. Now, if the government has refused...
I'm not talking about financial resources.
Need money for that.
I'm not talking about money.
What?
Whatever we need to make government do what
resources, financial resources are critical to making them listen. I know that we can talk, like I said, we talk a lot, but then we also want things to happen. For instance, I started what I do because I want to contribute my own quota, right? Which is why, say for the end of the year, we're going to organize a training, financial literacy training for non-governmental organizations because, they're set up based on passion. They do not have the resources. They don't even know how to register their organizations. That's my own little quota. However, it's just a little thing.
It goes a long way,
but then it's something that, if tackled appropriately from the top, then we'll get to where we need to go even quicker. But then we always say government, and who's government?
When you do that, the NGOs are better run. They're going to be able to employ more people.
Yes.
And it starts to grow things. You see, that's the way, in our little ways we can all do something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
so
we can. And we are.
But there's this notion that government...
There's too many people who think that it's up to government to do everything. No. Government is a problem, we know that. You must ask yourself, what can you do in spite of government?
In fact, a lot of people have been doing things on their own. They are self-employed. Most of their businesses are ruined. It's not even anybody waiting for government to provide employment.
You're not going to.
It's like
it's not the business of government. It's not the business of government to give you jobs. They need to create the environment. They create the environment for you to operate.
But where is that environment?
You see, they need to focus on creating jobs by setting the environment. That is what they are not doing because they really don't care about.
Can we look at the gender, the proportion of women and men that are unemployed? Can we look at that? Is women are more unemployed now, or I discovered that women are more?
I don't think
women are more productive than men, generally speaking.
I am saying. You are correct.
So
I am saying that if women should withdraw,
women than men.
In the formal environment, men are definitely more employed than women. If you're talking about the informal sector, the informal sector, which is hardly recognized.
People who apply themselves, women apply themselves more.
Yes, they do.
That is part of the problem. The informal sector that is hardly recognized. And I'm saying they are helping to keep up this economy.
Yes.
You know, the formal company, they don't make the money and they don't spend it here. It's the informal sector that is propping up this economy.
Yes.
So you find again that there's this, I don't know if you've noticed, that men, you have a challenge. Because in the next few years, women will take over.
It should be better.
If you check
I've been looking forward to being a house husband for a long time.
I don't know kept right.
You check the population in universities and schools generally.
There are more women.
More women. If you check, especially in the financial services sector, anywhere in services, you find that more women are getting into it. And there is this United Nations project that they did that said that by 2015, 80% of global workforce will be in services. And my thinking is, if 80% of the workforce globally will be in services, and women are more inclined to service sector. So that means that it could be 70 or 80% of women.
But you know, women still face some obstacles. Some of them were laid off because they were exercising their reproductive rights. They were in the office, they were before they banked them, laid them off.
Yes, you're sidelined as a result. You're sidelined as a result.
I don't know if I should say this on TV. One of the most successful enterprises in the fast food business happened because a woman exercised her reproductive right and she was fired, and now we have a big franchise.
But that's, you know, that's a standalone.
and again, it will be necessary for us to begin to look at the statistics. You know, recent statistics show that adult unemployment in Nigeria is about 24%. And the youth unemployment is about 55%. And that shows that we have a challenge.
I think we missed one thing about this unemployment issue. What about the employability of the people in question? There's a very fundamental problem with our educational institutions. The quality of output
human capital
the quality of your human capital is atrocious. So there are too many people who actually want to employ and cannot employ.
This is again where government fails so badly.
Yes.
Because the business of government is to look at trends, align the educational system to produce the skills that will drive coming trends. But we have a bureaucracy that, look, I had the privilege of serving as chairman of Nigeria's National Manpower Board for a short period before I quit. Okay, you can guess why I quit and all of that. But that's the business of that agency. To look at these trends, to then say, look, we shouldn't be admitting more than 20% liberal arts in universities. This is where IT skills should go. This is investment, blah, blah, blah. I mean, when I was, during the short period I served in that role, one of the major global players, Apple, back then, committed to doing something to support. When I quit, they withdrew because they did not trust the system.
Can I add to that and say,
just a quick one, the last word.
I have a friend who's a lecturer in a university in America. When his school here finished it before he went abroad, he's actually come back to try and help to redevelop the curricula in Nigerian universities. And it is taking forever to achieve. Our curricula, in some cases, are the same ones we used, 30 years ago?
Well, that's your friend. You know, when I lived in the Boston area, I spent a few evenings discussing these matters with him. I'm surprised he's still trying to.
All right, on that note, we have to come to this edition of Patito's Gang, and please don't go away. Yeah, you're still watching Patito's Gang. Well, viewers, you have heard from Nigerians on the street. You've also heard from the gang that all effort should be geared towards creating jobs for people. Our youths need to get jobs. And our youths, to keep them from violence, from crime, they need to be busy doing one job or the other. And we need to encourage entrepreneurship in this country. Not just necessity entrepreneurship, but opportunity entrepreneurship, which is what value creation. And on that note, we draw the curtain. We'll see you same time next week at same station.
seems as if no one is in control.